Imagine the HOA president ranting for a full 20 minutes about how you're single-handedly destroying civilized living while 60 neighbors squirm in plastic chairs. And you just sit there, folder in lap, knowing the second you speak the entire neighborhood is about to realize they've been trespassing on your private property every single day. That's not a nightmare. That's exactly what happened when Vicky Beaumont picked the wrong engineer to bully in Canyon View Estates, Arizona. Canyon View sits tucked against the Sonoran foothills like a postcard, adobe roofs, palm trees, mountain views that sell houses in 10 minutes flat. But scratch the surface and it's a pressure cooker of rules disguised as community excellence. I'm Ryan Caldwell, 53, retired civil engineer who thought I'd finally found quiet after a nasty divorce. My late Uncle Hank developed half this valley back in the 80s and left me the house plus a few surprises in the family trust. I figured the single winding access road, Mesquite Trail, would be the least of my worries. I was wrong. Last summer the monsoons hit like a sledgehammer. Mesquite Trail turned into a cratered moonscape. Potholes big enough to hide a golf cart, edges crumbling so bad cars scraped their undercarriages every morning. Mrs. Alvarez, 78 years young, nearly broke her hip stepping in one while checking her mail. I emailed the HOA board the same day offering to coordinate proper repairs. Vicky's reply came in 43 minutes. All modifications require prior board approval and must adhere to approved aesthetic standards. Unauthorized work prohibited. 6 weeks of crickets. The road got worse. So I did what any decent neighbor would do. Called my buddy Carlos, spent $4,800 of my own retirement money on quality asphalt and proper compaction, and we fixed the worst stretches over one weekend. Smooth blacktop, perfect drainage. Neighbors flooded the community chat with thank yous and before and after photos. Felt good for about 48 hours. Then the certified letter hit my porch like a slap. $750 fine for unauthorized infrastructure alteration, plus $250 a day until I tore it all out and restored the original hazardous condition. Vicky called an emergency board meeting that Tuesday afternoon. Prime working hours, of course. She rolled in with a PowerPoint titled Safeguarding Property Values from Rogue Actors, red arrows everywhere pointing at my patches like crime scene evidence. This resident's reckless defiance creates serious liability, she declared, voice dripping fake concern while her 3 pet lawyers nodded like dashboard bobbleheads. The board, stacked with her golf buddies, slapped me with $500 daily fines and ordered professional removal. I showed up to the next meeting with my own engineering report, material specs, traffic counts, safety analysis proving the work exceeded county standards. Vicky countered with a professional assessment written on her cousin's landscaping letterhead. My daughter Sophie projected the credentials side by side. The room gasped. 3 board members resigned on the spot from sheer secondhand embarrassment. Vicky didn't blink. She recruited fresh allies from her wealthy real estate circle, jacked my fines to $1,200 plus $600 daily, and rammed through an approved contractor list that magically featured only her husband Derek's poker buddy charging triple rates. Meanwhile, her patrols got personal. White Range Rover cruising past my house 5 times a day, phone snapping photos. Fines for grass at 3.7 inches, my daughter's car 6 inches over an imaginary line, in my own driveway, even a county complaint trying to condemn my house over unpermitted modifications I never made. She ignored identical violations on her friends' McMansions, oversized mailboxes, wrong paint shades, trash bins left out like lawn ornaments. Selective enforcement so blatant it would have been funny if it wasn't costing me thousands. I started documenting everything, cameras, timestamps, spreadsheets thicker than the desert heat. Mrs. Alvarez knocked one evening with fresh tamales and a dusty folder of original 1980s HOA covenants from her late husband, one of the founders. Most of Vicky's micromanaging rules had never been properly voted on. That was interesting, but not the kill shot. The kill shot came at the county recorder's office on a blistering Saturday. Mesquite Trail had never been deeded to the HOA. Uncle Hank's company retained private ownership of the entire access easement for liability and quality control. When the company dissolved, it passed clean through the family trust straight to me. Every luxury SUV, every Tesla, every minivan in Canyon View Estates rolled across my private property every single day. And Vicky had been fining me for maintaining my own damn road. I sat on the deed like a coiled rattlesnake. Let her keep digging. Fines climbed past $28,000. She scheduled the big community show trial, invited Channel 12 News, set up like she was about to get a key to the city for removing the neighborhood menace. The hall was standing room only. Vicky launched into a 20-minute opera of outrage. Enlarged photos of my patches, dramatic gestures, the whole "this man threatens our very way of life" routine. Cameras rolling, neighbors shifting, tension thick enough to choke on. Finally she smirked and said, "Would the accused care to respond?" I walked up slow, unfolded the surveyor's plat under the bright lights. Bold red letters across Mesquite Trail. Private road, Caldwell Family Trust. The room went graveyard quiet except for phone cameras clicking. "Before we keep talking about my violations," I said calmly, "let's get one thing straight. You've all been driving on my private property. For free. While your president fined me for keeping it safe." The county rep examined the documents, nodded, and confirmed on record, 0 HOA jurisdiction. Vicky's face cycled through every shade of rage to panic. She sputtered about fake papers, extortion, adverse possession. My attorney shut that down in one sentence. Can't adverse possess family inheritance without proper legal notice. Game over. I laid out the fair deal. Canyon View Road Cooperative, $45 a month per household for professional maintenance, drainage, and rare snow removal. I keep ownership for liability protection. Everyone gets transparent input and a voice. Reasonable. Sustainable. No more drama. Vicky lost it. Screamed blackmail. Corporate bullying. Stormed out with her 6 loyal followers while the news cameras captured every unhinged second. The rest of the room stayed. 41 households signed up within 2 weeks. 6 months later, Canyon View actually feels like a neighborhood again. The cooperative is running smooth, road looks better than new. Mrs. Alvarez's rose garden is exploding with color and 0 violation letters. Property values jumped. Vicky lost the presidency in a recall vote, so fast her head spun. Her husband's shady kickback schemes with contractors got exposed by the same county ethics board she loved threatening everyone with. Their for sale sign went up 3 weeks later. Last I heard they slinked off to some no HOA trailer park in Nevada. Here's the part that still makes me smile every time I drive that smooth road I actually own. The woman who spent 6 months screaming about standards and civilization got crushed by the very property laws she pretended to worship. True or false? The real power abuser here was the homeowner who finally enforced his legal rights after years of subsidizing everyone else, or the self-appointed queen who turned community standards into her personal torture chamber until the rules she weaponized came back to bury her alive. Drop your answer below. Who really got the karma they deserved?